fishing friends to another adventure. We're on our way, heading up north to complete leg 2 of the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge. It's a crack of dawn. I'm just now getting on the highway. And first stop is we're going to stop in Cleveland so I can drop off a historical item to my friend Frank Scalish, the legendary Hall of Fame angler. Then from there, we're going to cruise up to New York State. And then I'll start working on the challenge. Thanks for hanging out with me as I venture out on this cool fishing adventure, and we'll see what turns up of it. All right, guys, let's get out there. All right, guys, we made it into Indiana, going past down south of Chicago. Look at the gridlock over there trying to get into the Chicagoland area. Reminds me of back home, the Fort Worth, Dallas area, the crazy traffic. Anyway, so still trucking along on the adventure. All right, guys, an update from the road. I just left Cleveland a bit ago. Never been to Ohio. Now I just entered in Pennsylvania. Never been to Pennsylvania. So we're not far from Erie, so I'm just keeping things moving here. It's kind of a rainy day, but man, the excitement, the adventure, this thing's really moving now. All right, guys, check this out. So there's Lake Erie. Staying at a resort here outside of Buffalo. Gonna hopefully whack some fish. So I made it after a long day's drive. Ordered some food. They're gonna deliver it here to me, and then we'll see how it all plays out here. But man, this is such a gorgeous place. Wind's blowing in, so it's kind of got things turned up a little bit, but I bet you I'll figure out a way to catch them. Okay, guys, check out the meal. This is a steak garbanzola. I think that's what it's called, steak gargonzola. I think that's what it is. So this is man, it's gonna be delicious. I'm looking forward to this. And after this, I'm gonna get the fishing gear and I'm gonna head down there. I got my fishing boots right over there, and I got the rods. I gotta rig them up, and the water's churned up, so you know it's gonna be a rattle trap. All right, let's get to it. Dig in. Check that out, guys. Sunset. I'll be ready to go fishing in the morning. Man, that is super cool. Sunset here, but you know, way back in Texas, I still got like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours of daylight left. All right, guys, I'm up here on Lake Erie. Pardon the wind. I'm up here by Buffalo, New York. Gonna fish these rocks here. Ooh, I'm using braid, so this may be tricky with these rocks here, but I still gotta go for it. This is part of the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge. I need to catch one fish out of here. Anyway, I'm gonna be starting off with a Mag 6.8 sniper of a kind of a beetle spin, jig spinner type lure. And with the wind blowing through here, it should work out pretty well fishing along the rocks down here. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan. Actually making a fishing video. Thanks for support once again, guys. Sorry for the wind, but it's just how it is. All right, let's get to it. See if we can catch one. Yeah, I've got some tubes and things I'll throw. Also, I don't have my drop shot rod with me. I forgot to bring that one on this trip. Ooh, I can see some fish down there. That's interesting. All right, guys, so we're hooked up right on the rocks here. Oh man, it's a cool little rock bass. Check it out. We just smoked it. All right, little buddy. There we go. First official fish on Lake Erie. It's a rock bass. Check that out. Thanks, buddy. There you go. I'll show you what I caught him on. So on this, I've got Max 6'8" on a Mirabelle, Shimano Mirabelle spinning reel at 3,000. 12-pound Sunline braid to 12-pound, actually 14-pound fluoro leader. So I just worked it right along the rocks. I can kind of see some fish down there. I need to drop a tube. The wind doesn't really bug me much. I've had to deal with so much wind living out in West Texas. This is how it is in Amarillo every day. Yeah, so I can follow my tube out there and see what I pull out of that. I think it's a goby. All right, guys. I threw that little spinner for a while. Now I'm switching to a Denny Brower structure jig. Now with me, with my jigs, I swim them all. Just crank them, kill it. This one's got the little rattles on it, and I've got a Kalen's linker grub on the back of it. Looks really good down there in the water. It's clear water to a point. It's going to start getting really churned up because of the wind. You can kind of see that. Well, I get a lot of followers. Ooh, are we gonna get some rain in here? Check out those clouds. I hope we don't get any rain. Guys, I went from sunscreen to now it's cloudy. Throwing a Berkeley Power Stinger with a little underspin. Little bit of flash. That's it right there. I gotta try to negotiate some of that grass. Some of this onion grass. May have to go back to like a legit swim jig. Man, I can see fish all down there. I think a lot of those are like carp and stuff. Just swimming along, checking things out down there. I get a lot of chasers, which is cool. They just don't hit. All right, guys, this wind is crazy. This wind is crazy. So I've been fishing quite a while, like for 2 hours. Got the bomber 14A on here. Nothing else biting. So I'm gonna go scope out, maybe look for another spot to be continued. Heck yeah. I have to go check this place out. Alright guys, here we go. Entering Niagara Falls. We're gonna go check this place out. Never been here before. Let's see what's up. It's pretty cool right there, Horseshoe Falls. Ooh, check that out. There's probably some good fishing in there. That is pretty neat. Right over there is Canada. That is so cool. Look at all the seagulls down there. There's the boat tours. Man, that is super cool to be able to see that. The amount of smallmouth down there along the rocks. Epic fishing. That out rushing through here. That is some cool stuff. All that water, then it comes down, and then look at that, you got Canada over there, and these falls are so cool. All right guys, we're at another spot where the wind is just ripping. So it's later in the day. Had to do some sightseeing, like I went to Niagara Falls, you could see in the video clip. So now I'm just throwing the 14A. Probably need to be throwing just bouncing a jig off the bottom, but had this hooked up. Sorry about that. Alright guys, I've been throwing all kinds of stuff. I'm going to throw this little 2.5-inch tube, green pumpkin. I filled it up with Procure. So I'm just going to run it along the wall here and see what we get. So I'll kind of long line it there. Then I'll walk back to where I got my gear, but I just hop it. Got this on the Mag 6.8 with a Shimano Mirabelle 12-pound braid, sunline braid to 14-pound fluoro leader. Right along the wall here, bass like to hang around there. The walleye will, crappie will, but I've only had one time where a crappie hit a tube, and that was on the way down. Crazy. It makes sense because people use the little crappie tubes for crappie. You know, like the 1-inchers. This one's 2.5. The one that they hit was on a 3-inch tube. Just a big hog of a 16-inch crappie back home. So this is the second leg of the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge, Lake Erie in western New York. All right, boys, we're hooked up on a tube. Gotta let this dude play out. Feels like a good fish. Here at dusk on Lake Erie. I don't know if I can bank flip this high. We'll have to wait and see. What on earth is that? It's like a big drum. Oh, it's a big drum. That's a huge drum. I don't know if I'll be able to get him up here. We'll see. All right, boys, there he is. This dude's gonna help me net him, since I'm not gonna try to bank flip that guy. It's like a giant drum.
Oh, yeah.
I can't bank flip this dude. Hey, thanks for the help, man. Yeah,
It's a huge one.
you don't mind if you're on video for netting that, do you? Oh man, that's a drum, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it.
Just on a tube. All right, let me get this out of there. All right, there we go. Check out that.
Measurement.
No,
Will you?
it'll be a PB for sure for a drum. You got a measuring tape on
I
you?
do have one.
All right, that'll be cool. Thanks, bud. All right, we're gonna measure this dude and see what he is. I know that drum were in here. I guess they're all over the place, freshwater. Oh, let me get this in.
6 inches.
26 inches. That's a PB for a drum. All right. Well, we'll get him back in the water then. You want the honors? In case the net folds and breaks. All right, thanks, bud.
Look over there, buddy.
And some of those are good eating, but that one's too big, you know? There he goes. Hey, thanks, bud. All right, guys, that guy's name was John. He didn't mind helping. Check this out. That's it, just a little tube right there. Boy, he just hammered it. So, and now if it was a little smallmouth, it would have been no trouble bringing him up. But that thing, 26 inches, that'll be a PB drum. And it's not even close. Biggest drum I ever caught was like maybe an 18 back home. But man, he just hammered that. It's a Lake Erie special. Look at that, and it's right at sunset. Check that out. What do I still got my sunglasses on for? I've had them on this whole time. It's like dusk. This is a time what they call the gloaming. The gloaming. So with the tube, I just twitch, and then sometimes I'll just crack it. You know, we're about 10 feet here. Sometimes I'll just crack it all the way back. And then like this one, when he hit, it was just hops along the wall here. And it had Procure in there. All right, guys, it's pretty much getting dark here. I don't know if you can even see anything. We got the beacon of light blinking there. We got the other beacon of light blinking over there. The sun is set. I'm running a Mobster Booyah swim jig in that bone color with a bone colored Crush City freeloader. Look at that. Kind of glows. See if I can pick up another bite. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this evening. I gotta swing by this little establishment over here that seems to be rocking. People are watching a World Cup match in there. And then maybe get something to eat. There's a place over there that sells slices of pizza. Man, I've had so much fun up here. Starting off this second leg of the Great Lakes fishing adventure. Being able to whack some fish up here on Lake Erie, it's just been such a thrill. All right, guys, we'll get back at it. Keep things rolling. In the next day or two, and then I'm gonna head up to try to catch some fish on Ontario to complete the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge. But for this evening's portion, that's gonna wrap it up. But if you're ever in a situation like this with the seawall, fish along the base of the wall, you can see that a tube will work. It's just we've had crazy wind today, and then there were big storms last night, so barometric pressure was all out of whack. So I'm thinking that probably has something to do with it. But I saw a kid when I first got here, he caught a nice smallmouth. But you saw earlier today that crazy wind when I was out there trying to fish that. All right, let's pack it in for the evening. All right, guys, we're gonna head down here to our spot. I'm thinking I'm gonna pick the end down here because I see what looks like a current flow. See that? It's like it comes in and goes out. So we're gonna fish that. See how that goes. The sun's up, but don't let it fool you. East Coast time, crack of dawn. It's like 6 a.m. Oof. I gotta take advantage of the adventures. See if we catch something here. Alright, let me drop this stuff off and get rigged up. Alright guys, we're gonna drop off. We're gonna start off, excuse me, with a drop shot. One of Bobby's soft plastics, or excuse me, Big Joshy's soft plastics. It's their Gobi. So, not a drop shot, a Ned rig right along the wall here. Got this one's on the Mag 6.8 Sunline Fluoro for 1.14 L. Sunlight Braid for the main line. Doing this on the Miravel from Shimano. Little bit of grass down there. You can see the marina right there. There's a dude fishing over there. All right, let's fish this ripple. It looks like it's current out here. Alright guys, I've thrown hair jigs, tubes, all kinds of stuff. Nothing doing this morning. I'm going to throw this Bill Lewis MR6. Man, look at this color. Smalley Magic. One of my favorite colors. I'm going to bomb this out there. You can get it down below 6 feet, but 6 feet's about right where it is. So out there we're looking at like 15 feet deep. Man, that thing looks amazing. Alright, so the plan for today is fish this for a little bit. Then I'm going to head up north to Lake Ontario as we continue the quest to catch a fish on each of the Great Lakes. Yeah, if you've never thrown an MR6, you gotta pick one up, guys. They're a lot of fun to fish with. They got tons of great colors. My favorite one is the Smalley Magic. All the bait fish get spooked when I run this through there. Little bit of cabbage here and there, but for the most part this thing comes through the grass pretty good. Check out that color. Semi-translucent. Man, it's just, it works. I got a ton of videos on that, and I like the scope stick and that color, lipless crankbaits in that color. I don't need this one to bang off the bottom. I just need to get it down there to depth. They'll see it come up for it. This water's pretty clear. Different than if I was fishing like a lake back home where you want it to ricochet off the bottom. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything for it to do that here, but it's not necessary. Check that out, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can zoom in. They're rolling this scaffolding setup on each side of like the dock there, and then once they get out to the end, they'll lower that big yacht down into the water. It's like a crane system. It looks pretty cool. That's pretty neat. So people are getting their boats ready for the summer. So they just follow the track all the way out there and they lower her in. I've never seen that before. From the camera it looks far away, but really from where I'm standing it's not that far. So they were spraying it, getting all the gunk off the bottom of it first. Oh look, now they're lowering it down in there via the crane system. That's pretty neat. And there she goes. guys, I got our loader down in there, and they fired the engines up. She's starting to roll and move. That's pretty cool how they get it down in there. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me from here, from Lake Erie. I gotta head up north, see what we can get up there. Throwing a little jackhammer through here on this little current seam. Boy, I've thrown everything out here. I just can't get anything to bite. So maybe on the way back I'll swing back by again. The other thing is I want to check out the Finger Lakes. I've never seen those before. All right, guys, until the next stop, I will see you there. All right, guys, or you can kind of see out here where I've been fishing. Let me give you a quick status report before the battery dies. So I had a pretty good few days here fishing, and it's time for me to head up north and go up to Lake Ontario and check that place out. But here, it was just this location is such a good spot because you got the pier, you got restaurants, you got restrooms, you got a lot of cool stuff to fish. I mean, there you can kind of see the little seawall, the little break wall that they've got there, or set up there for boats to come in and out. Man, it's just a cool place to fish. So that's it for the status report. I fished everything this morning that I could think of. Bladed jigs, tubes, crankbaits, jerkbaits, all kinds of different soft plastics, shaky head stuff. I couldn't get anything to bite, so it's time for me to head north and check out Lake Ontario. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me on this adventure, guys. It's been a lot of fun. All right, guys, home sweet home right there. Bass Pro Shops here in New York State. Of course, I had to stop and get some stuff. Yeah, it was cool to see the selection is way different here than it is back home. Obviously, the different types of fish and stuff, but I got stocked up on a couple things. Got some Sunline fishing lines, some FC Sniper, picked up a Hybrid Hunter, a couple Bill Lewis, rattle traps. Oh man, good stuff. All right, check this out. The British invasion, the Battle of Oswego. Right here. You can pause that if you want to read the info on that. Some pretty good info. But take a look at that. There's Lake Ontario. Some ships that are out there. That's pretty neat. Question is, where's the location we're going to catch a fish out of here? Then it will complete leg 2 of the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge. All right, guys, there we go. Check out Lake Ontario. Never fished this before. You can see all the piers and the break walls and all this stuff they got out there. Hopefully, we're gonna catch something. Starting off with a jackhammer on the Mag 6.8. Fishing the rocks here. go, guys. We're hooked up right there on the wall. There we go. It's a nice rock bass. Check that out. This will be a PB rock bass for me, maybe. I'll have to check when I get home. There we go. Mission accomplished. A fish caught on each of the 5 Great Lakes. Check out that beauty. Further release. Man, this is a good spot right here too. So this one I got the 12-pound braid sunline to the 12-pound fluoro, actually 14-pound fluoro leader. Just right along the wall, right in here close. Bang. All right, guys, we're hooked up on the jackhammer. Boy, it's another rock bass. Check that out. There we go. It's like I never handled a fish before. Check that out. That's a cool little fish. There he goes. That's it. Just the jackhammer right there. Black and blue. So I'm fishing this side of this pier, running it along the rocks here. I got hit right there. There we go. We got another one. Boy, I keep pulling in these hog of these rock bass. Check out this one. That's a nice pig right there. Ooh. What? Come on. I wonder if he was following it because I felt a hit and then I just kept cranking and then I killed it. Then I felt another hit. All right, guys, we're hooked up on a rattle trap. Let's see what it is. Holy cow, it's a, excuse me, a little smallie. All right, there we go, right there. Not a very big dude. Wait a minute. That's not a smallie, that's like a little white perch. Or a white bass. Sheesh. All right. So we got another one. Let's see if we can get some more. Rattle trap right through the grass. They got those marina seawalls out there, that sea break or whatever you call that, to keep this like a sheltered harbor, so it looks pretty cool. Sun's about to go down. Throwing rattle trap still. I guess that was a white bass like we have back home. Just looked a little bit different. Surprised to see one here. I get a bunch of these followers. There's a follower there. But they just kind of look, but they don't try to hit. Yeah, I didn't get anything else along the rocks, but man, it was a lot of fun fishing through here. I had a good time doing it. And I'm so excited because that completes the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge. I've caught a fish in every single one of the Great Lakes. And man, I'm happy I'm finished with that. It is, I can't even describe the feeling that I've got, the accomplishment feeling, and just, it's so cool. Something that I can always talk about forever. Oh man, that's got to be less than 1% of the population that's done that. Anyway, take a look at that. Sun has gone down. Slick calm out here on Lake Ontario. Alright guys, I'm gonna head back to the hotel, take a shower, and crash. Then we'll figure out if we're gonna come back here in the morning or another spot. Alright guys, we're back out here this morning. Gonna do a little bit of fishing before I head to another location. Man, I'm so excited I was able to complete the challenge. That's a big accomplishment for me. When I went to bed last night, I was thinking, man, 5 Great Lakes, catching fish out of all of them. That's super cool. Alright, so I'm gonna run a Mepps Thunderbug weedless through here. It is 6:15 in the morning. So hopefully we'll get some fish and wrap everything up here at this location. Check it out guys, there's some swans out there poking around. Of course the geese. That's pretty neat. Alright guys, right in here close. Bank flip. Man, this is like rock bass central here. Oh, let me get my footing. Well, this is a nice little fatty right here too. Let's go. So I got this guy on the excuse me, modified Mepps, rigged kind of like a Comet minnow, but this one's on the Thunderbug. Check that out. Man, that's a gorgeous fish right there. Let's get him back in the water and try to catch a nice smallmouth. Check that out. One last look for the release. There he goes. Excuse me. So this is it. This is caught me a ton of fish. Just that right there. I'm going to switch it up, try a different color. I know I just caught one, but I want to try the one with the yellow blade. See how that goes. All right, here's the one with the yellow blade with a hot shot minnow on the back of it from X Zone. Man, I've caught a ton of fish with this setup right here. We'll walk down, since nobody's out here, we'll be able to walk the stretch of this thing. But since we're here, we might as well fish, give it some goes here. I saw something really cool, guys. 3 gar porpoising together, they're spawning. Man, they did that way back in early May and back home. But I tell you what, catching these rock bass, they're the bass, and this one and the Guadalupe bass are the ones that I catch the least. I'm never around any shoal bass or any spotted bass. Once in a while I'll get a spotted bass, but out of like the bass that I'm around the most, the rock bass is the one that I catch the least out of, so I don't mind catching those all day long. There's that blade, check that out. That looks good. All right, guys, we're hooked up again. This one's on the yellow thunderbug. Let me get up here. Ooh, check it out. It's a rock bass. Like I was saying, I don't mind catching these. They're actually pretty good eating. Look at the eyes on that. Check out the colors. Man, that fish is just so cool. All right, there you go, buddy. All right, guys, here we go. We got another rock bass. This one on the swim jig. Check that out. Man, that's a cool fish right there. All right, guys, there he is right there, a little meatball. Boom, there he goes. Kind of a kersplash here, but man, that was fun to catch. I'll show you what I got him on. The swim jig. I think this was his second time through because see how the tail is snipped off? Right there, it's a little 3-inch grub from the Slider Company. It'll still work. It gives it like a little keel. Right, guys, that jig was from Beast Coast. It's the Working Man's jig. This one, I've got a Lunker City Karate Craw, and I've got another Working Man's jig right here from Beast Coast. Trimmed it up a little bit. Skirt is just a little trimmed up just perfect. The weed guard is just a little bit long for me. But it'll work. This one's in kind of a craw color, so we'll chuck it around and see what we can get. Had a hit there, but he didn't commit. So this one I'm throwing on the Icon, the 6'8" Icon from St. Croix. 12-pound Sunline to 12-pound fluoro leader. All right, guys, we're hooked up on a rattle trap. Come on. Oh, it's another rock bass. Check it out. It's a little plumpo. Let me get to my better footing here. Ooh. All right, let's get this dude unhooked very carefully. All right, there he is. Another rock bass. Boom. There it goes for the release. All right, guys, I'm bombing the rattle trap on this side. I never have any luck fishing on this side. The other side's good because the wind's blowing in. You got all those rocks. I fished along this little seawall here and nothing really coming through. I've seen a ton of gar. That's the last thing I want to catch. There it is. Got that purple haze in there, a little bit of flash. Not too much so they can't get like a real clear, good look at it. Just enough to get them to think, oh man, I better strike that. Whatever's coming through. It's a cool little protected bay here, which makes it really nice. So you can kind of see the break wall or seawall that goes all the way around. Makes it really nice for ships to come in for shelter. Because man, that's one thing I noticed about out here is the wind really rips up here on the Great Lakes. All right, guys, we're gonna head on out. Maybe check out a couple other spots along Lake Ontario, but man, this is so much fun to come out here and do this. Such a good time. If you ever get the chance to do the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge, go for it. Go for it. All right, boys, we're hooked up right here on the swim jig. Bank flip. What is it? Oh, it's a nice largie. Oh, check that out. Not bad right there. That's a good fish. All right, buddy, northern strain. Let's get you back in there. Ugh. All right, guys, I gotta stop at the world famous Mike's Tackle World. Check this place out. Retro Bassin did a video here, so I gotta come in and see all the bombers they've got. X-Zone, these hot shot minnows, guys, where are they? Right here. Excellent. Culprit. I mean, this just goes on and on and on. Fishing line. Oh, GLF, my friend Dan. Got his stuff in here. Tons of Bobby Gar. Look at all the crappie stuff. Whew. I know I'm not doing justice by going section through. Look at that Euro tackle. But I'm kind of short on time. You can always pause and take a look. Mr. Twister. Ooh. Hey, there's Charlie Brewer. Guys, those 3-inch grubs. You see me use those. Those are deadly. Some bandits. Cotton cordels. Some more bombers. Lindy. Rods everywhere. This is just such a cool store. Look at all the kite decks they got up there. And then you got all this terminal tackle all the way through. Look at all that. I don't know what that alarm was. Somebody coming in through the front door, I guess. Those are those sumos. Hey, the beetle spins. And those are fish catching machines. Mr. Crappie. All right, there we go. And then all the bobbers. Okay, guys. Just looking through these cotton cordels. Man, look at those wiggleos. That thing is good. They catch fish. I guess they were a competition for the wigglewort. All right. This color right here is my favorite. What is it? 076, 077. Look at that color. There it is, guys. Mike's Tackle World. We're heading out, hitting the road. Man, what a cool place. All right, guys, time to wrap it up and get out of there. I had just a great time at the tackle shop. I bought way too many bombers, cotton cordell, big O's, and a bunch of stuff that'll go on the wall in the office at home when I get back home to Texas. But this was definitely a dream come true, a bucket list item to be able to complete the Great Lakes Fishing Challenge. So if you're ever in that position to do it, you gotta do it. Go for it. It's a lot of fun. One thing I noticed I thought was gonna really concern me was the spawn time for the smallmouth was right when I got there. So it was tough. I didn't see any beds around that I could even target. I tried to leave them alone, but I mean, I was like, man, this may be kind of tricky here. But it all turned out great, and I had a great time, and so it was no big deal. But anyway, definitely gonna head back up to New York and scope out a couple more Finger Lakes and go up to that area and fish. I met some really nice people in some little towns there that were so kind, and it'll be cool to see them again if I go back there and go fishing. They were fishermen that were out there, so it was cool to chat with them. Anyway, all right guys, until next time, I will see you then. Bye bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.